Greetings again everyone. Something that's always made me very happy are small-sized, full-frame prime lenses, and Sony have made a nice little move into that corner of the market by releasing 3 of their own, the FE 24mm, 40mm and 50mm G lenses. All 3 are lovely and small, are designed to offer particularly high build quality, are only for Sony's mirrorless E-mount cameras, and they're all rather expensive. Today I'm going to test the first one of these, the FE 24mm f2.8 G. It costs £630 in the UK or $600 in the US, so it's better value for money stateside. But for some it might be the more interesting of the 3 lenses, as 24mm on a full frame camera is easily wide enough to add a splash of drama to your images, being particularly useful for travel, landscape and architecture work, without being such a wide angle that it becomes difficult to compose your images. The lens's maximum aperture of f2.8 is just a little darker than its 2 brothers. It's hardly sucking in much light here, but neither is that aperture too dark. I'd like to thank Sony UK for loaning me this lens for a couple of weeks for testing, although as usual this is a totally independent review. Let's look at its build quality first, and well, it's gorgeously constructed. The lens is lovely and small, but also very tough and metallic, with an aesthetic design that's both pleasant and businesslike. It's based on a metal mount with a thin weather-sealing gasket. The lens has an aperture ring with quite solid, positive clicks to it at every third of an f-stop. Video makers will be pleased to know that you can switch that clicking off for smoother control during video work. You get an auto manual focus switch and a focus hold button here too on the side, and of course a metallic focus ring at the front. It turns extremely smoothly and the focus motor responds very well to it being used. Unfortunately, as you can see here, the lens exhibits some quite obvious focus breathing. The lens has not 1, but 2 of Sony's linear focus motors handling the autofocus. They work silently and accurately and very quickly, especially in autofocus continuous mode, as you can see. The lens comes with a very nice quality metallic hood, which looks just as gorgeous as the rest of it. Its filter thread size is 49mm, it weighs a light 162 grams, and it does not feature image stabilization. Overall, and interestingly, this is the best build quality that Sony offer today. Even some of their G Master lenses seem a bit plasticky compared to this solid hunk of beautiful metal and glass. But more important is image quality. I'll start by testing it on a full frame camera, my Sony a7R III, with its full frame 42 megapixel sensor. In-camera corrections are turned on for this particular test. In the middle of the image, straight from f2.8, image quality is absolutely razor sharp with excellent contrast. Corner image quality is rather softer, but still quite usable. f4 looks a little sharper, but this is as sharp as the lens gets until you stop down to about f16, where the effects of diffraction are causing softness. So it's a great performance on a full frame camera, but I've seen sharper corners than this on 24mm lenses before. Let's check out its image quality on an aps-c camera now by testing it on my little Sony a5100 with its 24 megapixel crop sized sensor. Again, picture quality in the middle is looking absolutely spectacular, and again, over in the corners, things are definitely softer. Stop down to f4 or f5.6 though, for decent sharpness to re-emerge. Well, there you go. I'd say it's actually a sharper looking performance over on full frame in the case of this lens. Well, let's turn off those in-camera corrections and take a look at vignetting and distortion on a full frame camera. A few years ago, uncorrected barrel distortion such as this would have shocked me, but nowadays it's simply par for the course for small-sized, wide-angle, mirrorless camera lenses, unfortunately. The lens also suffers from huge vignetting. Those corners are really dark at f2.8, but even stop down to f8, there's still some darkness there, so this is absolutely a lens that you will want to use in-camera corrections with. This lens can focus as closely as 18 centimeters, which is great for getting pictures of smaller subjects. They look really dramatic combined with that wide angle. At f2.8, close-up image quality is unfortunately very soft. f4 looks a little clearer, but at f5.6, image sharpness jumps right out to looking excellent again. Let's see how the lens works against bright lights. It's a great performance here, contrast remains nice and high, and flaring is low. And while we're working in the dark, let's take a look at chroma levels. At f2.8, in the corners of your image, we see just a slight smearing on bright points of light, but stop down to f4 and it's gone. Let's zoom out and look for sunstars now. They begin to emerge at f8, and at f11, f16 and f22 they get lovely and strong. Nice. Let's see about the quality of this lens's bokeh. Although really, you'll only catch out of focus backgrounds here if you get very close to your subject. It's great news though, as the lens's backgrounds look gorgeous and smooth in pretty much every situation. And finally, related to bokeh comes longitudinal chromatic aberration. At f2.8 there's plenty of it, as you can see. It remains at f4, but stop down to f5.6 for it to go away. Overall, well, it's difficult for me to fully recommend this lens because its image quality, which is good but not great, doesn't tally up with its very expensive price. But in fairness, its build quality is certainly gorgeous, and it's lovely and small to handle on your camera. Plus, it does still get lovely pictures with very decent sharpness. It is a great little lens. I just wish it wasn't quite so expensive. That lens is another one whose image quality might not have blown me away, but still, it was loads of fun to test out. I really enjoy putting these videos together, and I hope you find them helpful. If so, then check out my Patreon page down in the description below, where I like to put all kinds of bonus content for supporters who are helping this channel to grow. Ciao, everyone.